Hey, what's up guys, it's Apollo Uchiha here and welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with a new movie. Yes, a new movie. You heard that right. And the name of this movie is What If Naruto Became a Tycoon Who Controlled the Whole World? And yeah guys, it is an unscripted movie and my own idea. Now before continuing this, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to both of my channels, Apollo Uchiha and Meta What Ifs. I know I am not regular on Meta What Ifs, but that's because it's too damn hot here. Last night our AC gave out because of all new record-breaking high temperature that went down. I mean, I barely could sleep last night because even the fan after the AC died down was throwing literal heat at us. I'm still sweating a lot, but yeah, I was able to survive by drinking a lot of cold water. So I hope that you all are safe and sound. That's the reason why I'm not working on both of my channels right now. But don't worry, AC will be fixed in no time, and so I will be able to sleep and properly rest, and after that focus on both of my channels. After doing so, you will have your stories. I will begin doing so from tomorrow onwards, I promise. In the meantime, enjoy this story. A Tycoon Naruto, the one that controls the whole economy and the whole elemental nations, maybe the whole world, with the helm of its hand. Anyways, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and without any further ado, let's begin with our today's movie. Our story begins in Konoha Gakure no Sato on October 10th at night time, after the QB attack had just happened and had been put under control. Hence the village was saved. But now we go towards the Hokage office, where we see a heated argument was going on between Hiruzen Sarutobi and Minato Namikaze. Aside from the two of them, there were a lot of people in the room: the elders, Jiraiya, Kushina, and Minato and Kushina's children, who were just born today. The twins, Menma and Naruto. The only difference being one had red hair, the other one had blonde. As Hiruzen then said, I still don't understand. Why are you doing this? Leaving one of your children behind in such a vulnerable state, Minato. His chakra coils have been destroyed by the Biju. Soul. I know. And I know it is my fault that this happened, but I'm going outside of the village, outside of the safety, and if something happens, something when we're not around, I won't be able to forgive myself if something happens to my son. You and I both know that he cannot train the shinobi arts, and he had to live a civilian life, and it is all my fault, and I have to live with that guilt. I'm just trying my best to protect him. This is not protection, Minato. You're trying to lay him off because you feel burdened. How dare you say that to the current Hokage, Hiruzen-sama? How dare you say that to me? Said Kushina as she stepped in. I am not laying off my child, feeling that he is a burden to us. Then what are you doing? Said Danzo. As Kushina was taken aback, since Danzo for once, of all people, was siding with Hiruzen, meaning that she and Minato must have done something wrong. As Jiraden stepped in, this doesn't concern you, Danzo. Oh, it does, said Koharu. It does, because that child is a citizen of Konoha, and not only that, he is also part of the Uzumaki clan, and your child. As she pointed towards Minato and Kushina, as Minato then said, I know, and that is why I'm leaving him in the care of the people. No, Minato, said Danzo, you're leaving him as a decoy so that if anything happens, it happens to that child. As Minato gritted his teeth, as he then said, that is not the truth. Then what is? From what I can tell, looking towards all of you, I can say only one thing. What is that, Danzo? Said Hiruzen. It was all planned, Hiruzen. As the three of them flinched, while the other three looked towards him. What do you mean by that? Well, my old friends, it seems as if the younger generation thinks that they can fool me, who has been playing these sorts of games even before they were even born. Just out with it already, said Hiruzen. It seems that Jiraiya, Minato, and Kushina had a talk, and they did this deliberately to the young Naruto. Isn't that correct? You deliberately destroyed his chakra coils. You were going to dump all the blame onto one poor child, making him the decoy, painting a huge target on his back, only to train the other. For what reason? As Jiraden said, you got us. Well, anyway, no point in hiding now. It was all so that we can train the child of prophecy. Even in the fetus, Menma had great potential and energy within him, great chakra control and flow. And that is when we decided who the child of prophecy will be. Jiraiya, I cannot believe this. You're worse than Orochimaru. As Jiraiya was taken aback because his own sensei was saying this, comparing him even worse, and saying that he was even worse than the world top hated criminals. How can you say that, sensei? I have told you the prophecy again and again, and even you said when the time is right, you should go on it. Not like this, Jiraiya. I did not mean for you to destroy one child's life, and you two are the parents. How could you have agreed to this? And don't give me the bullshit that one life over the rest of the world doesn't matter. I made them agree to this. Heck, even I was the one who destroyed the coils of the child so that he could become a civilian, and the QB soul won't be much of a problem. Jiraiya, how could you? It had to be done for the greater good. Greater good? Or for your own sake? For your own benefits? I'm sorry, Hiruzen-sama. You let me down, Minato. You made me regret every decision I made into putting you as the next Hokage. You don't even deserve to be active shinobi of this village. You both. You lost your clan. Maybe you should have died with them. Because if they would have been here, they would have killed you. Mito-sama would have ripped your head off from your very body, Kushina, for what you have done. As Hiruzen said that vehemently, as he then grabbed the child that was blonde with hair. Give me that child. As he began to leave, he will be placed into the orphanage. You do not have any authority over me. Since you're leaving, you're wrecking the seed, right? Yes. And by the order bestowed upon me as the elder, I am reclaiming the hat and becoming the Hokage effective immediately. I back that. I second that as well, said the elders, as the three of them were shocked, as Hiruzen grabbed onto the hat, snatching it away from Minato. Hiruzen-sama, one day you will realize that it was all done for the greater good. I hope one day you realize that you made the biggest mistake of your life. And I hope it is not too late when that happens, Minato. Because you are already burning all the bridges between you and this child. To hell with that kid. We don't even care about that. As Minato and Kushina remained quiet as they flinched when Jiraiya said that. As they looked down as if they too were hurt. As for the last time, they witnessed that Naruto's eyes were looking at them. As the child's eyes opened, looking one last time towards his parents. And on the other side, Menma's eyes opened as well, looking towards his twin brother. And Menma and Naruto, as soon as they were separated, began to cry. As now we see, Draden said, they will all realize the mistake they are making. Even Naruto will. Turn around once we return. Menma, in all his greatness, when he becomes the child of prophecy and fulfills the prophecy, they, alongside the rest of the elemental nation, will see that we made the right choice. We made the right sacrifice. I hope it's worth it, Sensei. I promise that I would listen to you. I don't know for how long I can stay here. Maybe we should leave. The earlier the better, said Minato as he wiped tears from his eyes, as did Kushina. As Jiraiya said, they're weak, but they will change. I know damn sure they will. I have to just make the prophecy fulfill, and after that, the world will finally be at peace, and I can relax as well, enjoy my life. Thought Jiraiya to himself as well, as now we see, the next day they all left. As Hiruzen was still holding on to Naruto, watching them leave from the Hokage office, as the elders then said, they have left. I know, Danzo. What are you gonna do with the child? I'm not gonna place him into the orphanage. He will be raised in the Anbu headquarters. As Danzo's eyes widened, but Minato and the others said that his chakra coils are destroyed. I know what this said. Even if his chakra coils are destroyed, he can at least learn self-defense tactics, and not only that, he will learn from the Anbu Academy, the best of the best. I don't think that is a good idea. Then what is? I think it would be best if he is raised with some foster family for the time being. Which one do you think? They think that Naruto is pretty much useless, said Danzo. So I have a plan of getting back at them. Danzo said with a smirk that was known well by his friends when he was planning and plotting a revenge plan. And when that smirk appeared, their opponent was one thing for certain: fucked. As now we see, here's a smirk as well. Well, who you have in mind then, if not Hanbus? Naras. They're lazy. I know that. But think about it. Naras. They are the most knowledgeable people out there, smartest of the smartest. If Naruto is able to live amongst them, become and think like them, think how far he will go. What are you planning with him? We'll see. We'll see. But for the time being, we have to contact him. As now we have a time skip where we see Shikaku Nara, the head of the Nara clan, was seated, and in front of him was presented a blonde child. So let me get this straight, said Shikaku Nara. You're telling me that my friend Minato has left one of his children behind and deliberately destroyed his chakra coils by sealing the Kyuubi's soul within him? Yes. And has painted a huge marker on his back as well in doing so. Yes. That damn old blonde, always making troublesome decisions. I can't believe this. No. Well, believe it or not, said Hiruzen, this is the truth. Damn it, Minato. So what do you want me to do? We want you to take in this child and raise him. As Shikaku's eyebrow rose, why? Because we see that you are the Onbu as well as Jonin commander, and have great tactic as well as knowledge and insightful skills. We want you to pass them on to Naruto as well. Those are the birthright of Nara. I highly doubt that the kid might be able to do that. Who knows? Maybe he is much more than meets the eye. After all, it is said that when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Maybe he'll learn from you. I guess you're right. We'll see. And so Shikaku agreed to this, following the logic of the elders and the reinstated Hokage. As now we see, time begin to pass by as Naruto began to grow up with the Naras. If anything he didn't got from the Naras was their laziness. Aside from that, every insightful skill that he learned only helped him garner more and more knowledge. As now we see, Naruto at the age of 5 was seated inside the Hokage office, reading some books that that child his age shouldn't even think about reading, or would even have headache while reading so. Heck, even some of the elders might have a headache reading, and those were the economic factor as well as the other things. As now we see Naruto at the 5 years of age then asked the most important question to, well, Hiruzen Sarutobi. Hey Gigi, what is it, Naruto? How does one make money my age? As Hiruzen's eyebrow rose. Well, my boy, you were way too young for that. But what if I want to begin now? How can I make money? Well, there is certain laws that forbids you to make money as of your age. Since you are a civilian, before the age of 15 you can't even work. But that's too long. If I don't begin now, then I won't be able to become successful later on. I have this plan laid out in my head. What kind of plan, my boy? You said that we're having a lot of troubles, right? When did I say that? I mean, when you were talking in the council chambers while I was seated next to you. But you were reading some books. Yes, but I was listening in as well in the conversation. As unbeknownst to Naruto and Hiruzen, the elders have walked in while this conversation was going on since the beginning, and they too were quite keen on listening into this. And do you have a solution to this? For that I need to make money now, so that for later on, we will be able to make a solution possible. Well, said Danzo's voice cutting in, as Hiruzen was shocked, as so was Naruto. Greetings, Elder Samus. It's alright, Naruto. Why are you suddenly so interested in the money, my boy? And how will it help Konoha in the future? Well, if anything, it will help me, and in return I will help Konoha, because I guess this is where my family and all, people that I call family and friends live. How will you help out, Naruto? We will give you money as much as you want. It's not enough. I mean, from what I have heard, the budget is barely minimum enough so that you can keep the village properly working. The infrastructure and all that. As the elders as well as Hiruzen was quite shocked. A 5-year-old shouldn't say such big words, and not only that, he shouldn't even think about the words money and how to make them. What was Naruto planning? And so, Hiruzen then said, well, you can't work, but there is only one way I see it. Come with me, my boy. As the elders, also raising an eyebrow, followed them suit since they had nothing better to do at the time. As now we see Hiruzen brought him in front of a casino. Seriously? This place of all the places you could bring him, said Koharu. I mean, it makes sense, but seriously, Hiruzen, what are you thinking? Said Homura. Well, I guess this is the only option that he seemed fit. What is the boy even gonna play? Well, there are a lot of games inside that he can play. I mean, there is Shogi in which he can place his bets, and then there is the card game. And then there is the roulette. What are you gonna do, Naruto? How about I play the card game? As Naruto was given 100 yen and from 100 Ryus, and then sent in after learning the basics, Naruto began. And it only took him 2 hours to turn that 100 Ryu into 100,000 Ryus. As the elders as well as Hiruzen was impressed. As Naruto was happy, but not that much happy. He still had a frown on his face. Naruto, my boy, are you not happy? I mean, I am, but this will have to do for now. To begin with my plan. 100,000 Ryus is a huge money, Naruto. Huge sum of it. What are you gonna do? I'll show you. As after that we see Naruto the next morning then arrived with a plan and layout of a company that he was going to start. You want to buy this piece of land. It is a cheap land that will go around for like 30 to 35,000 Ryus. And after that, 5,000 Ryu more for registration under your name, Naruto. And then you will be left with only 60,000 Ryus. What are you gonna do with them? I'm gonna set out a small port here and gonna begin exporting the goods from here to the other, well, minor villages known for better tourism and so on or so not. What? As the elder's eyebrow rose, but Naruto, you know that these leads to the enemy territory, right? I'm going to be as a merchant, not as a shinobi, so they won't have a problem with me. As that is when we see Danzo coming in and saying, well, there's another issue, Naruto, that you have forgotten. What is that? You're 5-year-old. How are you gonna go ahead and travel on your own? You can't leave the city yet. Not without proper guidance. Then, what do you suggest? I mean, I got the plan laid out. This is just the first step. Then Naruto, how about I help you out in that manner? I have a merchant, old friend, who is, well, currently at the time, free, and has quite a lot of time in his hands. You can't be serious, said Danzo. As Homura and Koharu then rubbed their chins and said, well, he is one of our best merchants, or used to be. Yes, used to be, before he turned towards drinking and so on or whatnot. Well, he will be best for this sort of job. I mean, Naruto can leave on his own. Maybe he might be motivated to do this. As now we see, it was nighttime and both elders and Naruto arrived to meet with this person in his, well, apartment, which was quite messy. As after revealing everything to him, we see that he was silently staring towards Kid. So you want me to believe that this 5-year-old brat laid out the whole plan of this, well, great revolution or whatnot in front of you, and you believe in him. Well, so far he has proved his worth. And he has brought results. I'll be the judge of that. So you're in? Only for one trip. That's all. If he won't be able to impress me, then I won't do it. And if he is, then who knows? Maybe I'll help him out to set up his own business across the elemental nation throughout my connections. Alright, deal's a deal. And so, thanks to the help of elders and Hokage, Naruto, meeting with the Hanma, the great merchant, went on their first trip thanks to the harbor they set up. And Naruto, thanks to Hanma and his connections within the minor villages that were known for better tourism, was able to distribute the goods from Konoha, such as their sake as well as wood-made objects because of the lot of forest being surrounded them. And its rapid growth back, much more unnatural than the rest of the elemental nation's forest. They were able to make huge amount of woods without any tree losses or whatnot. As Naruto brought these things along as well. As Hanma then said, "Gotta say, kid, I'm quite impressed with the inventory you brought. I hope that the goods will be able to be sold at a better price." "Really?" "Yeah. Let's see how your selling skills work." And Naruto, thanks to the books he have read, one of them being the selling arts in its own self, Naruto was able to sell goods to a lot of, well, women who were on trips with their husbands there, mainly from the rich capitals. And not only that, a lot of shinobis and konoichis who were also resting, enjoying their trip there, were also buying stuff, and a lot of officials as well. And through them, Naruto was able to, well, make a lot of connections on his own. And Hanma, for the first time, was impressed. And so, after 1 month passed, they returned back. After going for trip to trip for multiple villages, and Naruto didn't return empty-handed. He bought a lot of goods to sell back in here in the land of fire as well as in Konoha. And after doing so, Naruto made double profit in just a singular trip of going back and forth. As now we see, Hiruzen and Hanma alongside the elders were counting profits while Naruto was resting because he was tired, and they were quite shocked. "I can't believe it. The brat turned 100,000 that he invested after earning into 1 million Ryus. Can you believe that?" Yeah. It's quite frightening that a 5-year-old kid just made 1 million Ryus in just one trip. In a month. These are, well, if a shinobi works for almost 10 years worth doing missions back and forth, this is what he makes, that what he made in just 1 month and in one trip. I think that Naruto is on to something. We need to find out what his bigger plan is. Why don't we ask Shikaku? I mean, he has been pestering me why Naruto was allowed to be sent on his own. As now we see, Shikaku and his wife, Inoko, and Shikamaru, who acted like his brother, were all pissed after meeting Naruto. "I'm sorry. I brought gifts though." "You're not gonna get off easy, Naruto, but seriously. You should have told. We shouldn't have to be informed through the Hokage that you left on some trip of your own. But gotta say, kid, I'm impressed. You started earning on your own at such a young age. I'm proud of you." As so was Inoko, Shikamaru's mother and Shikaku's wife. And as for Shikamaru, he was quite surprised. "I can't believe this. You surely are a troublesome blonde." "No, he's not. If anything, he's working hard at such a young age. I'm proud of my baby," said Inoko, hugging the child close to herself as Naruto was happy as well. And so was the Nara clan. And not only that, Naruto's ventures was known out now throughout the whole Konoha and the clan as well. And Naruto was set to go to the next trip as well. And this time, some of the Nara clan members were also going with him as protection. As now we see, Nara was integrated as a full-time Naruto was integrated into Nara clan as a full-time clan member and was adopted son of the clan head and his wife. As now we see, Naruto was quite shocked when the most of the merchant community was also quite desperate to work with him because they knew that they were going in quite deficit. Naruto bought goods at fair prices from them, and after going throughout the whole elemental nation, sell them at a marginal profit, and then brought the goods and sold here that the merchants sold to the people of Land of Fire. And the business was booming, both for the merchants community and for Naruto as well. So much so that a merchant's license was given to Naruto, which was given to only bigger merchants as well. As this was the only beginning step that Naruto was completed. As now we see Naruto returned after the second trip, earning 20 million Ryus. Because this time the trip was much longer since he had protection and went throughout the whole elemental nations, purchasing goods from one merchant of one nation and selling it to the other at a fair price, making profits everywhere he go. As after the return, everyone was shocked and amazed. The boy was able to turn 1 million Ryu into 20 million within just 2 months. As Hiruzen was just scratching his head. "I don't believe this. I just gave him 100 Ryus and that boy turned that investment into 20 million Ryus. Can you believe that?" "Yeah, it is hard to believe. With these much funds, Konoha will be able to not only sustain itself, but also grow itself without the need of daimyo or whatnot." As now we see, Naruto, after returning, then said, "I'm gonna go ahead to Land of Fire because I need to purchase some shops and properties." As the elders were quite shocked. "Why there, not here, Naruto?" In this way, the money will be just circulating within the village. I want to obtain a huge chunk of the land of fire, and that is when the second step will be completed because it is already initiated. I want to make assets. As Danzo was impressed and allowed him to move forward with this. As now we see, Naruto went off to deal with the merchants community there and buy off most of the, well, commercial as well as industrial side of the land. As after purchasing the land from there and getting the deeds, Naruto rented out the properties to the same businesses that were working there and were making profits. But this time around, the profits weren't being split com- between the land of fire and the owners. But this time Naruto was involved, and all the profits were split between Naruto and the business owners. And then Naruto had to give a little piece of money as a form of tax to the Land of Fire daimyo, increasing his, well, income from that department. More than 20% of the commercial and industrial side was bought with all the money that Naruto has made up until now. And after 2 months passed, the returns began to increase, and that 20 million ryu increased itself and worth into 40 million ryus in returns. And not only that, Naruto's assets that he has purchased were going up and up in prices, making the total worth of that investment up to 50 million ryus in total, without the profits of 40 million that were returning, making it a whopping 90 million ryus of total wealth for Naruto, just at the age of 5, turning 6 now. As the elders as well as the whole council of the village was shocked that the 5-year-old was capable of doing this much and was now this much wealthy just because he read some books and was raised by the Nara clan. As that is when they realized the true threat to this village, if they changed sides, was the Nara clan. Thank God that they were too lazy, because if not, they would all be successful billionaires and would rule over all the elemental nations. But thankfully they were lazy enough. As now we see, after Naruto returned, Inoko was quite happy. Naruto would always return back with his expensive gifts for them, as well as for the elders and Hiruzen who believed in him, as well as Hanma, who was now operating as the head of his first business of export and import through the docks that he has built in Konoha. Talking about the docks, his first business, Naruto has expanded it, and now there were huge shipments going in and out, expanding even more. As this was going on the other side we see 6-year-old Menma was training hard, while sweating all he can, as Jiraiya was still promising him the better future, him being called a hero, but inside, Menma felt empty, as if he didn't want it all that. He just wanted to be normal and have a normal life. He didn't want it so much of big responsibilities all laid on him. His parents and Jiraiya, they had too much expectations from him, so much so that Menma began to have an anxiety of his own. What if he wasn't able to fulfill all these things that they wanted him to do? What if he failed? But they reassured him continuously, but he wasn't sure of himself, and yet still continued to train. All the while, they remained unaware what was going on in the land of fire and throughout the whole elemental nation. So much so that in the next Kage Summit meeting, when Naruto reached at the age of 6, Naruto was brought there alongside with Hiruzen. As some of the Kages were quite shocked that this was the kid that the merchant community was so buzzing about, that has just within a 6 or 7 month of span earned a whopping 100 million ryus, becoming one of the most wealthiest merchants ever possible, and boosting Konoha's economy and taking it to the level closer to the land of fire itself. As now we see, the other Kages, while talking and being done with their meeting, noticed that Naruto was continuously reading books about economic and business minds from the past. As that is when Oniki then said, "Kid, can I ask you a question?" "What is it, Oniki-sama?" "How do you think it would be best for you and Eva to do business?" As Hiruzen had a frown on his face. "Oniki, he's just a child. Child who earned more than 100 million ryus. I know that this is the boy that the whole merchant community is buzzing about. The boy that has golden touch. Whatever he touches turns to gold. I mean, look at Konoha's economy booming. Why is it so bad that if we get a piece of that as well. I mean, I'm not going to start a war or anything. I'm just asking so that we too have a better living facilities. We are suffering a lot, and our daimyo has cut off a lot of our expenses as well. We're barely making dues as it is. As Naruto then said, can I visit your village if it is possible? I might want to see what it's like, and then I will plan what we should do there. If it is possible, said Meichirumi, I would also like to be in that pact. Pact? There is no pact, said Hiruzen. Oh, well, there is now, said Oniki with a smirk on his face. Naruto has agreed to help. I mean, he doesn't have any problem. And in this way, maybe, we also will join in an alliance. Or a peace treaty if you want. As Hiruzen's eyes widened and so did the elders. You, Eva, will go into a peace treaty with Konoha of all the villages. Yes. For the time being, I will sit back and watch the results. If this boy is as he says he is, then we might work in the future. As Naruto just nodded and respected the decision of A, as well as Rasa, who didn't say anything throughout this whole process. He was quite jealous of the, success of Konoha, but he wanted to know that if it was just, stroke of luck, or indeed the child working prodigy as they claimed him to be. And so, within a month after the, Kage-Summit meeting that happened in Iron Country, we see Naruto with a lot of Naras as his guards arrived at Iwagakure. And after entering, he met with Oniki and his family, which was Akatsuchi, his son, and Kuretsuchi, his granddaughter. Naruto stayed with the family while also Kuretsuchi showed him around the whole village. As Naruto then in nighttime would lay out the plan, and after discovering that there were a lot of caves that had openings but were abandoned and never used, Naruto devised a plan and went towards the Council of Eva. Well, what do you think, kid? You have seen the village and have been living here for a week. Have you found anything? There are those caves that I found up there. They have opening, and from the looks of it, they have some shining material within them. Those are just rocks. Those caves don't have anything. But I think they have. What do you think so? Because that is a sign that there might be something big in there. But even if there is, it will require a huge amount of investment to do so. I have that investment, and I would like to be working with Eva on a partnership, and we will start an extraction from the surface itself. Who knows what kind of minerals we will find within. A mining company, huh? Yes. N.I. Mining Corporations. And for Naruto, I for Iwagakure. We can work with that. But what will the profit split? 40-40. As they were all shocked. What about the 20%? I mean, the expenses have to cover. I'm not gonna leave my labor behind with nothing more than a chump change. They will also get all the profits as well as benefits, and so will their families. The environment will be completely safe for workers. They can be either from Eva, or from Konoha, or any other village of your desire. As Eva was quite pleased with this sort of settlement, and signed an agreement with Naruto. Naruto, using his own resources and pulling out 80 million ryus, then began the investment there. It was a huge, risk that Naruto did, but after the N.I. mining companies began, within just a year, when Naruto reached at the age of 7, the profits began to return. The whole elemental nation could see it. Eva was booming, as much was Konoha, because of the split bit of minerals that were discovered within. Gold, platinum, chakra metal, and the rarest of them all, diamonds. All of these were recovered from there, and hence the security was tightened around these areas, as well as the export and import routes were also guarded heavily. And when their daimyo, Eva's daimyo, wanted a piece of that, Konoha intervened, and so did Eva. It was done so without daimyo's intervention, and daimyo could not intervene. His own signatures were on him, and legally he couldn't do anything about it. Obviously he was pissed. He wanted taxes, he wanted a piece of that, but he couldn't have it. and he could see that his attack dog was getting better and bigger as the time passed, and his power was decreasing. On the other side, the Land of Fire daimyo could also feel the same, but Naruto had made good relations with him to the point that he had stopped intervening in his matters and buying more property there. In exchange, Naruto was buying out properties outside, and he has decided to pull a power move on the daimyo of the Iwagakure. Naruto set up a meeting, as the old daimyo was pissed off at Naruto. How dare you, boy? Show your face here. I'm gonna cut to the chase, Daimyo-sama. I know you want a piece of action, but you can have it. Since you can't have it, how about I offer you a deal you cannot ignore? What would that be? 50 tons of gold and diamonds. I will give it to you in exchange for Iwagakure. As the daimyo's eyes widened, so did the Tsuchikage, who was seated there. Kid, are you insane? That's a huge amount of money. Much more than the village is worth. I know. It's twice the worth of that village. So what do you say? As the daimyo was in deep thought, the mines are empty now. They have within a year extracted everything. That boy is making a foolish decision. I'll get all the gold and diamonds I need, and I'll be out of this picture. Fine, where can I sign? Read the document carefully. No matter what happens, you cannot intervene or make any decision on Iwagakure. It will be under my jurisdiction as the new acting daimyo of that village. As after that, we see it. That the daimyo didn't care much or less. He wanted the money and he got that. And Naruto got what he wanted, Iwagakure. As Naruto, at the age of just 8 years of old, was able to buy out Iwagakure and become the daimyo of his own village. Back in Konoha, the profits were booming even more. The daimyo of Land of Fire was happy and quite proud to see that the kid has gone so much far and ahead. And so was, well, the Nara clan. As now we see, Shikamaru's mother, Inoko, was beating the shit out of both of her husband and her son. Look at your brother and son. He's working hard out there, alongside the Kages and the council. He even became a daimyo at such a young age. What have you two achieved? As both of them felt ashamed at some point, but also a little bit envious. But they knew that Naruto has made them proud, and has told them that they, even if they wanted to, didn't need to work. But that is when Shikamaru said, "Hey, To-chan, what is it, kid? You know, I kind of feel bad that Naruto is really working on his own. So how about you start training me for a change so that I can work alongside him? Just say the truth. You just want to get out of the home and relax near Naruto, because you know Naruto won't be bothered by it." You read me way too well. Of course, you damn brat. You're my son. I would be able to read you very well. So? Fine. And so, the training began there. As now we go back to Iwa, where we see inside Iwa's council, they were greeting their new daimyo. As Naruto then said, "We are still partners. You don't need to do that. But you owe everything we have. Our land, the mines, they're technically yours. First of all, I'm lifting all the taxes here. They're dropped from 50% all the way down to 10%, both on residential, commercial, and industrial zones. Because it will also help me and my business." That's great, Daimyo-sama. Well, let's work together for more prosperity and bring N.I mining corporations to a newer level. But we have mined the surface. That old daimyo didn't knew that there was more and more tunnels beneath it. I can see it. That there are much, much more deeper minerals that we haven't discovered yet. So, it might get a little bit dangerous, but we have to expand. And Saro and Naruto put in a lot of more investment. Almost all of it into the mining. As 2 years went by, as the profits were stable, but no results were showing. But in the end, all hell broke loose when the record-breaking extraction was done. More than 500 trillion tons of diamond and other minerals was discovered. Iwa just became, alongside with Konoha, most richest villages in the whole existence. As now we see, the daimyo of Iwagakure was shocked and pissed and wanted to take Naruto to court for making him sell the village at a cheaper rate. But Naruto showed the agreement to the, court, and the daimyo was arrested for infringement and whatnot. As back in Konoha, we see that Naruto has just become a tycoon in his own right, while also being a daimyo. As Naruto was already at the age of 10, as he was seated inside the council meeting, where the other clan heads were looking at him respectfully, because just at the age of 10, what he was able to achieve, none in this world has ever been able to achieve. A true generational genius in his own right, a revolutionist. As Naruto, that is when he mentioned, "Hey Gigi, I would like to buy a piece of land just behind the Hokage monument and build my own version of a city there, alongside my corporation." Well, you're the boss, Naruto. You can buy out that land. As Naruto purchased the land for more than 10 million views. And after purchasing that, Naruto began to develop a new infrastructure there, much more advanced than anything ever the world has seen. And so Naruto's third step to becoming the most powerful being in the world began. He already was, but he wanted to become and assert his dominance. And this was the third step, building his own infrastructure. As Naruto knew, he will need a lot of loyal followers, and a skilled one at that. Hanma-san as well as Oniki were doing their own thing. And both companies, the import-export one and the N.I mining corporations, were doing their best and making huge amounts of profits. We see that Naruto was about to turn the tide and take it up a next level. As 3 years went by, and within 3 years, the whole village in itself, within a village which was called a mini Konoha, Neo Konoha, was created. As Naruto was at the age of 13, sitting inside a huge tower, which was called N Corporations, Naruto Corporations. Inc., his own business, his own empire that he built at the age of 13. And not only that, his advisors were still daimyos, but he also had trained the younger generations, gathering from all the elemental nation the most genius of all the civilians and shinobis alike, and put them all together in one room, and have made all of them loyal to him, to the point that working with Naruto had made them and their village proud and profits, but also made Naruto much more profits. As Naruto reached at the age of 13, a new twist of turns of events was waiting for him, while he was on his way to earn the glory of the others. And that wasn't all. Naruto was going to begin with Kirigakure, making it into a paradise of its own. Naruto was thinking of turning that village into profits by making it into the biggest tourism site the elemental nation and the rest of the world has ever seen. As Naruto has begun the plan already 2 years back, and the plans were already in action. He was currently having a call session with Maid Terumi, who was overseeing the plans. "Alright, I got it. You will need more 200 million ryus. I will see the infrastructure next week by visiting there." "No, that won't be necessary, Mason. I will visit when I'm free. Thank you." "Alright. Have a nice day." As after that, Naruto saying goodbye for the time being, turned off the phone, as that is when he noticed Hiruzen walked in with a frown on his face. "What's the matter, Gigi? Why have a long face?" As Naruto was wearing a nice suit, as he got up and said, "Well, kid, your family, well, your adoptive family they returned, didn't they?" "Well, yes, they have." Might as well go and meet the so-called family that threw me entered the bus, shouldn't we?" As now we see, down in Konohagakure, they were shocked to see a whole new paradise built behind Konoha Hokage Tower. And when they saw N. Corporations Inc. logo, they wanted to know who it was. And when they found out that it was Naruto, and their son, they were more than anything shocked. What did the brat do in just 13 years? He was the same age as Menma. As that wasn't all, when they investigated a bit, or Jiraiya did, he found out that Naruto was already the daimyo of Iwagakure of all the places, and had the biggest mining corporation there. And not only that, he was currently turning Kirigakure, after also doing the same thing what he did to Iwa, purchasing it from its daimyo at a fair price, into a biggest tourism destination for the whole world and the elemental nations as well. As now we see, they were seated inside the Hokage office, As once Naruto's foster family, once they found out who they were called, they were in a heated argument. I cannot believe this. How could you have adopted my son knowing that he had a family? Adopted your son knowing that he had a family? Or adopted your son who needed a family that you threw around, Minato? As this was going on, we see now Naruto arrived there with Hiruzen. As Naruto, after arriving there, noticed that his both parents and Jiraiya was looking at him with a bright smile on their face. Ah, there is my lovely godchild. Enough, Jiraiya. I remember everything what you said that night. What? I'm kidding with you. I have heard from Gigi and everyone who was present there multiple times what you have said and how you destroyed my chakra coils. Well, you know what? I gotta thank you. Thank you for doing this. Because of you, it would all have not been possible, and I would have been nothing more than a shinobi of this village. As he looked towards elders who were quite confused. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but I'm in a better place. I am in much, much better position as well. I am the literal business god here, or as people call me. We know, kid, and we're proud of you. You don't need to be. I have the proud responses from my family, and I'm quite happy with that. And by the way, Kachan said Naruto, as Kushina looked up, hopefully, but was quite shocked when Naruto found out that Inako was moving towards Naruto, as Naruto then said, "Here, a diamond necklace for you that you wanted. Thank you, son." As after that, Kushina was hurt. She should be the one receiving those kind of gifts, not her. She was just a foster mother. She was the one who brought him into this world. As Naruto then looked towards his sibling, Naruto immediately realized something. So you're my sibling, right? My twin. Yeah, said Manma looking down. He was quite confused. To be honest, all his life he was trying to live up to his parents' expectations, training hard as he could. He has developed a huge amount of anxiety, and Naruto, having learned enough reading material already on different topics and aspects, knew one thing when he saw one. Come with me. Hey, where are you taking him? He is my brother, relax. He's trained by the 3 legendary shinobis of your caliber, and you're afraid that I'm gonna do something to him. Me, a civilian. Wow, just wow. As after that, Naruto brought him to his tower, and so did, well, his current real family, the adoptive family, the Naras, and his ex-family were also there. They were quite shocked by the luxurious environment of the upper level, or the upper state of Konoha, as where Naruto's office society was called, as it had huge offices building as well as huge schools and residential areas. As Naruto's secretary, Fu, was giving them all around a tour, as Naruto was sitting inside his office alone, meeting with his brother. Why are you feasting? And why do you look like that you have extreme anxiety? As Menma began to shake his hand as a sign of showing an anxiety, as he looked around everywhere, trying to avoid Naruto's gaze. Nothing. There's nothing of that sort. You don't need to worry about that. Listen. You and I were both infants at the time. I have nothing against you, and I can clearly see that they have put way too much on your shoulders that you can bear. As Menma, for the first time, was shocked that someone was able to see through all that he was hiding. See through the mask that he was able to put on, that his parents didn't want to see. As finally the dam broke and he let it out all the tears. As Naruto gave him a hug. Let it all out, brother. You've suffered enough. I just don't want to let them down. They have put too many expectations on me. What if I fail? It's the right to fail. But Naruto, you have become successful in everything from what I've heard. I have a long way to go as well. I haven't achieved a single thing. Hey, listen to me. We're brothers, aren't we? And what do brothers do? Look out for one another. If you need help, if you need my support, I'm always there for you. But not for them. I can see it in their eyes. I have been doing this since I was the age of 5, and I can read people pretty much good as the shinobis or the interrogation team of Konoha or any other place could read. They want my money, not me back. They want all the infinite resources as they look that I have. But why me and not them? You have been burdened by the same thing that I have. I was burdened by the responsibility, and I took it with a smile. You were overburdened by the responsibilities of theirs placed on you. that you didn't want it. At least I chose my priorities and responsibilities. You didn't get to choose that. As now we see, Menma was happy to meet his brother. They talked the whole day until they were interrupted by both of their adoptive and the other family with the secretary Fu brought there. Naruto-sama, the families have arrived there of both yours and Menma-sama. Ah, come in. Bring drinks for us. Yeah, I want some sake as well, said Jiraiya. Please bring sake for him. The expensive one. Yes, yes, the expensive one. As after that, Naruto sat down behind his desk. As he went through some paperwork while they all chatted, as Naruto did a small talk with his, real family. As after that, we see Naruto then said, Do you mind if I talk to my parents alone, Jiraiya? As he looked towards his adoptive family as well, I hope you don't mind, Kajan, Dojan. Not at all, kid. Just don't go too harsh on them. I won't. You don't have to worry about anything, Menma. I promise I won't do anything stupid. And after that, we see, as the door closed shut, Naruto then said, I get it that you didn't wanted me. Don't bullshit me. I know you didn't. That is the reason you allowed Jiraiya to destroy my calls and place the Cubist soul within me. Whom, by the way, I still haven't made any contact because of my chakra network being disrupted altogether. But sometimes I do feel phantom pains or had nightmare of Cubist screaming in agony. Which hurts quite a lot. As both of the parents even felt more guilty. As Naruto was saying this casually. But aside from all that, I want to talk about Menma. What kind of trauma you have induced on him? Trauma? I'm sorry, what? Said Minato. Menma has been going through a lot of stuff. You have been blinded by your also responsibility that Jiraiya has placed on you, and you have placed on Menma with the highest expectations in the world possible on a single soul. I mean, how in the damn world a single child will be able to change the fate of the whole world? He's afraid. He has great anxiety. And if not treated properly, he will have panic attacks left and right. And I'll be damned if that happens. Naruto, we didn't know. Of course you didn't know, because you didn't want to see his interest. You didn't want to know what he wanted to do. All you wanted was for him to fulfill your wishes. You didn't even want to listen to his side. That is what my brother has been enduring, and I'm glad that you left me here. Because if I would have lived with you, I would have either committed suicide by now or would have died because of the burden that you have inflicted on me. I'm happy that my brother is strong. And that is why I have decided one thing. I'd only allow him to be close to me. And only him. None of you. You both know as much as I know that you two pretty much kicked me off the clan, and that is why I still don't carry the name Uzumaki around with me. Because I know the whole truth. As Kushina looked down. Listen. No thing in this world can change that. No tears that you are showing me now. Nothing. Because all I see is you acting and fake it, of trying to correct your mistake. It can be repaired. The bridges that you burned can be mended together. All I know is that my brother and I are both victims of you and Jiraiya. If I wanted to, I can take you to any court in the world, since they're all pretty much under me now, and get you punished. But I don't want to do that, because this would hurt him. I'm allowing you to give you a chance to walk free from here. Just don't interact with me or interfere in my businesses anymore. Thank you for your time, Minato-sama. It was a pleasure meeting the hero of Konoha who saved Konoha twice. As after that, Minato and Kushina, who were baffled and shocked, left. As Jiraiya, and once they returned back home with Menma, Jiraiya was also informed that he was shocked. The damn brat. He can't do this to us. Enough, Jiraiya. He's my son, said Minato. You don't have any say in this. Naruto's right. As he went towards Menma, who flinched. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to. As Minato gave him a hug. I'm sorry, son. If anyone has to be, it's me. We didn't even listen to your side. We didn't know you were going through such a hard time. As Kushina cried while hugging her son close. It's alright, sweetie. If you don't want to, we won't force you. What do you mean we won't force you? He is the goddamn child of prophecy. Fuck your prophecy, Jiraiya. Because of your prophecy, we already lost one son. Back then, and even now as well. The bridges have been burned between us. They can be mended. as Menma looked down that he won't be able to meet his brother ever again. As he looked towards Jiraiya with rage, it's all because of you. If it weren't for you, we could have been a family of four, happy. All you did is destroyed our family and you're still on about, thinking only for yourself. You're the real parasite here, Jiraiya. Get out of my life. I don't want to follow you or your damn Toad clan. You idiot imbecile. Do you know how hard I have worked for you to achieve this level of power? You have a faith that everyone, even including Naruto, one day will respect. And you still can't see that, can you? You all have insectful-like minds. They can't even think properly. They need to be told what they need to see. Enough, Jiraiya. Leave. I won't ask you again. To hell with this. I'm leaving. As Jiraiya with a grumbling sound left. As now we see, the family of Trio hugged close to each other. As Naruto was watching this through Hiruzen's globe, as he had a smile on his face. You sure? Yeah. The bridges have been burned. I mean, I pretty much have a new family at this point, right? The family who raised me, my true family, the Nara clan. If anyone that I'm gonna get close to is my brother, Menma. Aside from him, nobody else. And so Naruto did as he promised. Menma was getting close to him, and Menma wanted to help out Naruto, and so Naruto allowed him to stay closer to him and be the head of the security of the new Neo Konoha that he has built. And both of the brothers reached at the age of 15. It was a worldwide known factor that Naruto, the daimyo of two nations, as well as the controlling party of three villages, was a tycoon in its own right, and a power to be messed with carefully, as the next target was Kumo and Suna. Both of them, too, were brought in. Naruto found out that Suna was a playing field that could be changed into a utopia. And so did Naruto did that. And that place became such a huge skyscraping utopia, as well as shinobically advanced that it even put Snow Country to a shame. All thanks to the Neo Konoha and its higher level facilities. Naruto was bringing everyone closer and closer and burning the bridges that everyone has built amongst one another. So much so that even the Akatsuki were quite impressed and wanted to see how he was able to achieve peace without the Moon Eye plan as they would have thought would have been necessary. Only one member was asking for it, while the others were quite amazed and shocked and wanted to work with even Naruto, because some people were money driven, such as Kakazu and Hidan, while the others generally wanted to find out how he was able to turn their places that were nothing more than dumps that they left behind into paradises of their own right. Iwagakure was an industrialized, revolutionized village, and as for Suna as well as Kiri, they were two of the best tourism spots in the whole world. And Kumo, it has been turned into a sanctuary as well as, alongside with Konoha, into the building empires of supply and demand, meaning they supplied the goods like crops as well as other needful things like fruits and so on or so not, and supplied it to even the rest of the world. As now we see, Naruto was only the one name that was common in all of this. The N. Corporations Inc. Naruto's blood, sweat, and tears all coming together. His plan was coming to a close as yearly returns of profits for Naruto was more than 300 trillion ryu, becoming the richest and the strongest controlling power of the whole elemental nation. He even bought out most of the Land of Fire. 80% was under his control now. He even bought out Konoha, making him Konoha and the rest alongside the 5 major villages a part of them. And slowly and surely he was buying out the minor villages as well. As suddenly, out of nowhere, Amegakure approached him with the same deal. They wanted their place to be sold, but they still wanted to be in charge of it and work closely with Naruto. Naruto knew that it was one point that connected elemental nations to the west, and Naruto wanted that access. And so, Naruto had a talk with the Akatsuki's leader, Pain, and formulated that plan. And once this was done, the Akatsuki were quite happy and pleased that they could focus on much more peaceful events than they had thought, because what they had thought was could have been much more destructive. But all thanks to Naruto and End Dot Corporation thing, everything has changed, and now they too were in on the same boat with the rest of them who were enjoying their profits. As now we go towards a daimyo meeting where we see the daimyos, aside from the Land of Fire daimyo, who was quite happy with that, the authority over the Land of Fire at least, the other daimyos were pissed because they were ripped out of their power and their villages, who they did not knew had such potentials within them, all because they were extorting them before and now they couldn't. And Naruto has just literally turned them into money-making milk cows, and now he was milking all he could. And even the Westport has been bought out, and the West has gained access to the land of elemental nations, and Naruto's profits alongside the villages' profits have doubled down even more. As now we see, Naruto's profits alongside the rest of the elemental nation increased so much that Naruto introduced a new banking system as well, much more larger than any other daimyo could have produced, and this was the national bank of the whole elemental nations that we instituted, the second last final step of his plan that he put into action. The last ones all have been tick marked, as Naruto was making changes and changing the tides over and over again. We go towards Konohakure's council chamber where we see all of the council people were quite happy and pleased. Their kids have been working closely with Naruto. The next generation happened, and they too have been reaping the benefits. As Hiruzen, the still acting Kage, then said, "I still can't believe it all began from 100 ryus that I gave the boy." From 100 ryus to establishing his own bank, huh? Said Danzo. He was pleased with the power that Naruto held. And at his helm, not only Konoha, but their enemies' village now turned into allies have also changed. But the biggest point for Danzo was that Konoha was the one reaping the most benefits out of all of them, thanks to Naruto, because he was properly paying taxes since he was operating there. As for Naruto, he was, well, at the top of the world right now, and controlling power of the world as well. But an issue arose. Only 3 people were not happy aside from daimyos with this. That being Orochimaru, as well as Jiraiya, and none other than Obito Uchiha alongside with Danzo. These people assured the daimyos that they will get Naruto. And once they will, Naruto will collapse, and so does he, the rest of the elemental nation will collapse. But how wrong they were. Naruto already had increased his security in each and every route, doubling down on them, and thanks to Menma, Naruto's security has even far more increased thanks to the seals of the Uzumakis, as Naruto has funded him to increase the seals to the point where the seals that Menma developed was way too much overpowerful, and that is when Menma found out his passion. Not only he was good at being a shinobi and security chief of the N. corporations, but also had a kank and a hobby and specialty of developing expensive as well as complexive seals. As now we see, Naruto and Menma were having a meeting. What do you think, Menma? Who could have done this? To be honest, Naruto, I don't know. There have been random attacks. Sometimes Jiraiya was seen there. Sometimes Orochimaru. Sometimes a member that has been disregarded from the Akatsuki. Our contacts from Amegakure, the Akatsuki leader, Pain, has told us again and again that it is the ex-members, Zatsu and Obito Uchiha, or the fake Madara. They need to be brought down. What are we gonna do about this? We have to bring in the big guns. We have to contact the rest of the elemental nation. And so a Kage Summit was called, as Naruto was also brought there, as each and every Kage, with a respectful nod looking towards Naruto, nodded to that. "Hey kid, good to see you here." "Yes, it's good to see you as well, Naruto-kun," said all of them, as Naruto then said, "It's good to see you everyone as well, Hokage-samas, Kokage-sama, and all the Kage-samas." Well, let's get this straight to the point. There have been a few people who were trying to mess up with our routes and our goods, as all the other Kages knew about this as they were scratching their heads. Who could have done this, Naruto, do you know? From my security chief, I have found out that they are the ex-members of the Akatsuki. Obito Uchiha, otherwise known as Fake Madara, the one behind the QB attack, and Zetsu. And not only these two, there's also the other problems. Who? Jiraiya and Orochimaru, alongside the other daimyos, aside from the Land of Fire one. Can't believe that. The daimyos are causing all this mess. Must have been the ones behind funding them. Yes, they are funding them. So how is the new expansion coming along, Oniki-sama? Really? Now? Yes. I want to know. What kind of expansion? Well, N.I corporations. Aren't they mining corporations? Or mining company? Yeah, it has been turned into a corporations. Or expanding. We are also now refining the minerals and materials. And not only that, we're also turning into craftsmen and crafting expensive artworks and whatnot. Making luxury items and exporting it to the West. Doubling down on the profits, we see. Yes. I want to pass down this. I also would like to announce one thing, Naruto, since you're the daimyo of Eva. What? I'm passing down my seat to my granddaughter, Kurotasuchi. Kurotasuchi-chan, that's a nice choice. And, well, you know her and her proposal, right? As Naruto literally flinched when he heard that. Yeah? Well, what about it? She's hellbent on finding out what you have thought on it. It's almost been a year. What have you thought on it? Yes, I'm quite also interested in knowing, Naruto-kun. What have you thought of my proposal? As now we see, Naruto looked towards his brother, who looked the other way, and then towards Hiruzen, who also was whistling but also had a smirk on his face. As that is when Danzo jumped in. The Yugas, they also had set in the same proposal for you. And have you forgotten about my daughter, Naruto-kun? Tamari-chan is also waiting for a response. Oh my god, you damn boy. What about Yujito and Samui, huh? They will be heartbroken if they were left out. As fool, his secretary then jumped in. Naruto-sama is already taken. You can't just jump in and say that. As Naruto looked towards Fu, shockingly, as he was shocked. As that is when his brother looked the other way and said, You're in this on your own. I can't protect you from this. I'm sorry. You're supposed to be my brother, out of all things. Help me out here. No. This is your bed. You have to lay on it. I'm sorry, Naruto, but I can't help you with this. Bye. As his chief security officer, his own brother, disappeared and dished him there in this mess. Oh, brother. As the Kages began to laugh at this. Don't worry about the mess. We'll take care of them. The Akatsuki leader has been contacted as well. But Naruto-sama, remember one thing. I won't lose to the others. Well, how about we come to a solution? In Konoha, we have a Clan Restoration Act known as CRA. But in terms of Naruto, since he is the daimyo of not only one village, but 3 villages, all the elemental villages, how about we make a CRA for him so that each and every village will have the future daimyos, which will be his children. That is something interesting. We will agree to that. Wait, don't I have a say in this? Unfortunately, no, kid, said Danzo. What Hiruzen has said is quite actually beneficial for not only Konoha but for the rest of the elemental nation. What will happen once you die of old age? The next generation will be in shambles. With your death, there might be the collapse of N.I corporations and enterprises as well, meaning the fall and collapse of the whole elemental nation in general, giving the daimyos a way back into being the manipulative, controlling, abusive leaders of the rest of the villages. And we don't certainly want that. Fine, okay, I agree to this, said Naruto with a massive blush on his face. As now we see, Naruto was shocked when all the elemental nations, effective immediately, formed a shinobi alliance force and sent out them to eradicate the daimyos as well as the figures that were messing with him. As after they were all wiped out, we see that Naruto was presented with their heads, and Naruto said, you didn't have to bring their heads here. As the daimyos were happy with that Naruto wasn't a cold-blooded, demanding leader that they thought he might have become. As after that we see, Naruto then said, I'm still sick to my stomach after seeing this all. But you all did a good job. Now at least we all don't have to worry about them messing with our profits and all that. Yeah, And on the brighter side, Naruto, you're going to reach at the age of 20 soon. And once you do, you will be married effectively and immediately to not only Hinata, Yuga, as well as Mei Terumi, Temari no Sabuko, Yujito ni Samui, as well as Kuretsuchi. As Naruto then sighed and said, I accept, as he signed even the document. And so, once he reached 20, while his brother, who was in love with Ino, married first, as Naruto made a huge grand celebration for him and them, two of them, and made sure that they enjoyed the best of all that he could offer, making their honeymoon glorified event for both of them and a memorable one. We see that Naruto's marriage was a festival of its own. The whole Elemental Nation were pretty much gathered in the New Konoha, Naruto's small city that is built within Konoha in itself, as Naruto married each and every one of his wives. Some of them even went on to become the Kages of their own village, like Temari became the Kage of Suna. As for Mei, she was already a Kage of Mizugakure. And as for Iwa, Kuretsuchi. And at one point, even A thought that he must pass on the seat to Yushito Ni, and that he did, making Yushito the perfect candidate, alongside with Samui, her advisor, the Kage of the village. And as for the Akatsuki remaining members, after wiping out their ex-members who wanted nothing more than the destruction that the already peaceful era, we see that they too were reaping profits as Amegakure's conditions have changed for the best as Naruto was visiting them, as Nagato revealed his true name to him alongside with Konan. And they too have married together as well, and named their son Yahiko. Naruto acted as his godfather because he was named one. As now we see Naruto standing there looking out at the horizons, as the few ships were going in and out of the base that was turned into a port city of its own right. You know, Naruto, it would have been possible without you. Nah, don't say that, Nagato-san. I'm happy to be here and working with all of you. I'm just glad that some people back when I were younger believed in me. Hey, Naruto, said little Yahiko looking toward him, can I become someone like you? Yeah, of course you can, but you have to listen to your parents and study harder to become one. You bet. I'll become even more powerful than you. You're on, kid. But hey, I already have a head start. How about this? I give you 100 Ryus. After carefully learning and experimenting, how about you turn this into a profit and then begin your journey as soon as you see it that you're ready? You bet I will. As Naruto did the same thing that Hiruzen did to him, gave 100 Ryus to a kid who he knew and saw the potential in to go far ahead. You know you didn't have to, said Konan. No, I just did what my Gigi did for me. He believed in me, a 5-year-old kid. Wouldn't have had anything. And look at me now. I went this far. I believe in little Yahiko, and know that he will too go far, far ahead. As now we see, Naruto was finally happy and satisfied with the end result. He was not only able to buy out the rest of the Elemental Nation, but also open a port to the west side and earn yearly 1,000 trillion Ryus in profit in return after all the expenses were cut off, all going to him and him alone. As Naruto was living the true life of nobility and the powerful king who had everything in its helm, and his wife were queens in their own right, as well as his generals who were operating the rest of the elemental nations now. As Hinata was made the Kage as well as the Hokage of Konoha, the fifth one at that, while Menma as well as Ino were expecting a child known as Inojin, Naruto was certainly happy to become an uncle and knew damn well that he will spoil the kid to the core as best as he could, even his own kids. But after teaching them the codes and ethics of morality, as this is where I'm going to be leaving this movie off, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel. If you like the content of this channel, I know it is quite like a few games such as City Skylines or whatnot, but yeah, I really wanted to make a story like this, a Tycoon Naruto. Here it is. I hope you enjoyed this one. This is it for the day. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.